happy that I'm able to participate in this forum, and I'm asking that maybe Isaac does some introduction so that I know how many participants we have and from which areas and so forth. So, Isaac, please.
Thank you so much, Your Lordship. The participants that we have here, we have it's a youth forum mostly, but we have also invited other people who might not fall under the category of the youths, but it was a forum mostly for the youths so that they can understand more on interreligious dialogue and ecumenism, as they have shown a lot of interest in this particular field. So we have youths from the Catholic Church, we have youths from the Islam religion, we have youths from the Protestants, and what I see is that we have invited also our friends who might not be from within the country, but this is majorly the biggest group of the participants are youths. Sorry for that. I think my network got interfered.
Hello, Isaac, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Your Lordship. I hope you got now the overview of the people present. And I see Dr. Shomali is also in already. Karibu, welcome, Dr. Shomali. Too. Back to you, Your Lordship.
Okay, so first of all, I want to thank the organizers for this meeting of the youth and for inviting me to share a few words about our initiatives around the interfaith dialogue. From a Christian perspective, we normally divide religious dialogues into two. First, we have ecumenical dialogue, which brings together the various Christian sects and congregations wherever they seek mutual understanding of each one's faith and wherever they endeavor to undertake common actions inspired by a Christian faith. That one you call ecumenism. Then we have interreligious dialogue, which brings together initiatives between different religions, different religious traditions. And in a broad sense, that is what we call inter-religious dialogue. This evening, however, I want to focus on what I'll call the main dimensions of religion, whether it is Islam or whether it is Christianity, whether it is Buddhism, whether it is Hinduism, whether it is African traditional religion. From a sociological point of view, you are going to find that we have common dimensions, which I'm going to talk about. And the reason I'm doing this is to answer one general question that emerged last year during the Gen Z protests. The Gen Z group were calling themselves tribalist, partless, religious less, etc. And I have tried to interrogate within myself from as far as religion is concerned and as far as religious leaders are concerned, what is it that the youth are not happy with? In order to answer that question, I looked at the way religion is practiced in Kenya. And I came to the conclusion that followers of every religion in Kenya seems to have overemphasized one or two or three or four dimensions of religion and forgotten the fifth, which in my view is the most important dimension of any religion. So to start with, I want to say that if you look at all religions in the world, you're going to find 5 dimensions. And the first dimension is that every religion has got places they call sacred, people they consider sacred persons, things they consider sacred, and a time which they consider sacred, and dates and days which they consider sacred. So the notion of sacredness is found in every religion. That's why we have Christians going for pilgrimage in Jerusalem or in Vatican, and you have got Muslims going for pilgrimage in Mecca, and many other religions go, where their followers go to certain places for pilgrimage. Those places where they go, they are considered to be sacred or holy, and that's another word for sacredness. So every religion has got people who are called holy people, places called holy places, and things which are called holy things. But that is only one dimension of religion which is found in every religion. The second dimension that is found in every religion is what we call creed or belief, the belief system of every religion. Whether you take African traditional religion, it has got a set of beliefs which may or may not be the same with a set of beliefs of another religion. Whether you take Christianity, it has got its own creed, its own set of beliefs, and that's why in the Christian fraternity, for example, in the Catholic Church, there is actually a prayer called the Creed. In a way, it is a summary of what Catholics believe. But this creed or set of beliefs, every religion has got its own set of beliefs. If it is Islam, they have the 5 pillars, and every Muslim is expected to believe and practice those 5 pillars. Those are what we call set of beliefs, in another word, creed. Then every religion has got what we call cult, or in another language, rituals. For example, among the Muslims, when they are entering a mosque, they put off their shoes. That is a ritual. When they are inside, they pray facing a certain direction, and they pray using different gestures. All these are ritual system of a religion. You'll find Christians have got their own rituals and symbols when they stand, when they kneel, when they clap, and so forth. You find, and within the category of rituals, that is also where you find prayers. We pray at certain times, and we pray in a certain way, and so forth. All these are rituals, and every religion has got its own set of rituals, which may or may not be the same with another religion. So, first we have the sacred places, sacred times, sacred people. Then we have the creed. Then we have the rituals, as I've explained. Then we have what we call conduct, or in other words, moral conduct or moral code. Every religion has got a moral code, be it Islam, be it African traditional religion, be it Christianity, be it Buddhism, be it Hinduism, be it Zoroastrianism, and so forth. It teaches its followers on the right conduct, the do's and don'ts. In Christianity, we talk about the Ten Commandments, but in many religions, there could be more or less, and some of these may be the same, some of them may be different. But all that is summed in one word: conduct or moral code. And that is the fourth dimension of every religion. Then, when a certain group have the same people or places they call sacred, and they have the same rituals or cults, and they have the same creed, and they have the same conduct or what you call moral code, they form a unique community, which in Islam we call Ummah, in Christianity we call church, etc., etc. Now, why am I explaining these differences? Is because in our country, Kenya, we all know which are the holy people or holy places according to various religions, and to a large extent, followers of our respective religions in Kenya are very religiously loyal to sacred times, sacred places, and to sacred people. In Kenya, we respect one another's rituals. When I go to a mosque, I should pray you following the rituals of Muslims. And when I go to the church, I follow the rituals of the church. And being a multi-religious country, we have since learned how to respect one another. And because we have various holy days, Sunday is a holy day or a sacred day for Christians. Friday is a sacred place for Muslims. Seventh day, they have Saturday as a sacred day. And our society, to a large extent, respects various religious holy days or sacred days. And in many ways, we have coexisted harmoniously because we don't impose any one dimension or a certain dimension of a religion for all the people. The main problem, which I think Gen Z have discovered and which they are totally against, is the area of conduct, or what we call the moral code. Many followers of the various religions in Kenya, they are very good in respecting royal places, holy places, practicing the rituals or cults, reciting the creed. But when it comes to practicing the moral teachings of their respective religions, that is where the problem is. And that's why we have our churches, mosques, and temples full on their respective prayer days. But as soon as we leave our places of worship, we behave almost totally different. And in my view, we do not adhere as we should on the moral conduct of our various religion, which teaches us that corruption is wrong, killing is wrong, telling lies is wrong, and so forth. And I think in the process, what we have produced is hypocrites. We have many people who consider or want to make people believe they are religious, but if you look at them from a moral conduct, they do not measure up, despite frequenting places of worship, places of holy places, and so forth. And that's why I chose this as a topic today, in order to help the religious leaders understand why, first of all, the youth are calling themselves religiousness. Because if the youth are seeing hypocrisy among the religious leaders, then they see a lot of hypocrisy, and that is what not the religion they want to adhere to. No wonder they say they are religiousness. But in my understanding, what they are actually against is hypocrisy, not religion in itself. Because even after saying they are non-religious, they still go to mosques, they still go to churches, they still go to temples. And I think what they're saying is that they are not united on the basis of one particular religion, that their movement cuts across and have membership across. And in my view, what is uniting the youth today is because they want to undertake what we are calling moral reform of Kenyan society. And to do that, the only source of morality we have are the sacred books and sacred teachings, which can be found in every religion. And the problem is not so much that we don't know what the moral teachings of our various religion teaches, but our problem is living by the conduct of those morals. So I'll pause here and allow some questions, and then we can proceed from there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Lordship, for the sharing. And now I welcome every participant or any person within the forum that has a question, a contribution, an input on what His Lordship has just shared. And it has been a very rich sharing, especially for the majority of the participants here who are the youths, or what we have termed now as the Gen Z, with the emerging issues in our country now, and which might be the trending patterns in the times to come. So I open this time now here to all of us to ask question. You can just raise your hand, and then I'll allow you to speak. Yes, Richard Mutinda.
Thank you so much, Bishop, for lighting some of the issues that, especially in so my question.
I'm not getting the voice
Richard,
is not clear. Yeah?
Richard.
Okay.
Yes, yes. That's
What
better.
about now?
That's better.
Yes, a bit. That's better.
That is better.
Yeah.
So my question was all about the contribution of the parents in terms of giving the moral guidance to young persons, the ones we are calling the youth. Are parents going to, or are parents playing a major role in shaping the future of these young men and women to be responsible people, irrespective of the differences that they might profess out of their faith or religion? So, what is the role of the parents? Yes. Thank you so much.
Okay. And if Richard, if Isaac allows me, I would prefer to answer one question at a time.
That's fine, Your Lordship.
Okay. So parents, like all others, have a responsibility to mentor children in all aspects, including their moral growth. In the olden days, parents had a bigger space for molding their children, but because of modern technology, parents are not the only source of teaching morals. The children and youth are exposed, one, to alternative moral teachings depending on which faith one follows. Two, technology has also brought in a closer the moral teachings of various religions and various societies in the world. And therefore, we cannot say parents alone can mold the moral behavior of their children. But the essential thing is any adult and even a fellow youth can mold another fellow youth's moral upbringing as long as they are not hypocritical, that what they are teaching is different from what they do themselves. As long as you are an authentic mentor, an authentic teacher, and you practice what you teach, then you have a moral authority, not only to fellow youth, but even to your own family members, be they older or younger to you. So the key word here is authenticity and lack of and avoiding hypocrisy. And hypocrisy is condemned practically in all religions. But apparently, this is hypocrisy that the youth are totally against.
Thank you very much, Your Lordship. I hope Richard and every participant has found some richness in that answer. And Daniel Otieno, I see you raised your hand. Daniel, take over.
Yes, good evening all. I'm Daniel from Yamasare Catholic Parish in the Diocese of Homa Bay. My Lordship, cultism or cult as a dimension of religion. How can a religion moderate it so that it is not used or executed to the detriment of such people, the followers of a given religion, or the given religion does not use it against other people? Because I feel that there is a sense in which the moral code, the rituals, influence the mental behavior of the practitioners of a given religion. So how can a religion moderate it such to the extent that a given religion does not use it to harm, or it spoils themselves? Thank you.
Okay. The closest example I can give is example of a driver who is driving on the road. For public vehicles, nowadays we know we have what we call speed governor. Now, speed governor is supposed to regulate the car's speed so that it is not left for the driver to decide how fast to go. So that one we could call it an internal moral governor that every human being and especially religion is supposed to provide for every individual. Every individual is supposed to have a moral speed governor, which governs when to go fast, when not to go fast, when to stop, when to turn, and when to take off, and so forth. You don't take off driving when your doors are open, or you don't drive when your vehicle is defective. All that we can analogically call it an internal moral governor, which religion is expected to instill in all of us from childhood up to the moment that the Lord calls us from this world. Unfortunately, not everyone's moral governor is as strong as it should be. And in some cases, some people have specifically what we call dismantled. Just like some drivers can easily take out the speed governor, it is also possible for a human being to decide that they are not going to go according to the moral governor of any one religion, and they do what they want. Now, when that happens, then the next external speed governor takes over. And that is why we have traffic police. Traffic police is supposed to regulate the behavior on the road, especially for those whose internal moral speed governors are not operating. And you must have heard of the joke of the driver who was driving so fast, and he came to the what you call roundabout, and it was very clear that it was red and he should stop, but he looked left and right, and because there was no car coming, he passed on. But as soon as he passed on, the traffic police stopped him, and when the policeman came to him, he said, "Hello, gentlemen, how are you? Did you see the red light?" "Yes." "And why did you not stop?" He said, "I saw the red light, but I did not see you," meaning you, the policeman. Now, when an individual gets to that level, means the internal religious, moral, spirit governor is not working. Secondly, they are operating on external controls or governors, and not even those which are standard, but it is based on whether or not you have somebody watching over you. Now, to answer that question about how religions can regulate themselves, each religion must reclaim its own moral code and insist that followers of their religion follow that. If they are not able to regulate themselves, then the state comes in and is able to say, well, if you decide to do what you call prayers at night, when people are supposed to be sleeping, then you must control your voice, because what you call noise can be also be a moral what you call challenge. So you either control yourself or you are controlled by the law of the land. In the same way, if you want to get married to a girl who is below age, and you say, according to my traditional religion, it allows me to marry a girl who has reached puberty, even if they are below 16, the law of the land comes and says, no, the minimum age for marriage is 18 or 16, whichever the case. But all that is because you are being externally regulated because you have failed to regulate yourself. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Lordship. Any other input or question from the participants? Just raise your hand so that I can give you time. Oh, somebody. Joseph Miru, mute. Joseph, mute. Okay. Any other input from the participants? Any other input from the participants or question? Or should we continue with his lordship?
Yes, Isaac on the chat.
Okay, you
Isaac on the chat.
On the chat? Okay.
On the chat.
Okay, the chats, I think Nicholas Mutua thanks the bishop. Okay, there is a question on from Eunice Nderito, Your Lordship. I hope you can hear. Thank you, Your Lordship, for the presentation. My question, how best can religious leaders embrace the young people without publicly condemning them for raising concerns related to hypocrisy in the leadership? Let me repeat it. How best can the religious leaders embrace the young people without publicly condemning them for raising concerns related to hypocrisy in the leadership?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, Your Lordship.
Yes. Most of the religious or faith-based communities nowadays have youth movements or youth associations. And I like to believe that where these youth associations exist, those youth leaders are invited to participate in decision making of their faith. And if that is not happening, the youth themselves should demand that they are of age. Any decisions that may be taken by the faith community will affect them directly or indirectly, and that they have the right to express their own views within the leadership channels, not only when there's a problem, but even when there's no problem. That is one. Two, and that is one way of embracing the youth across the religious divide. Where we have found some religious leaders continuously excluding the youth from leadership, we have deliberately organized seminars, interfaith seminars like the one we are having now, where we bring together all youth from various religions, and in some cases we invite the religious leaders from different faiths to come and listen to the questions that the youth are asking. And that is another way in which we embrace the youth. But the youth of today are living at a very privileged time when technology allows them to come together in a virtual way. During our days, we could only come together as youth during holidays. But now, over a weekend, on Saturday and Sunday, if the youth in the country wants to have a meeting virtually, they can do that, even when the other youth are in school. Now, this is an opportunity which both the youth have not utilized well, and even church leaders have not utilized well. As we proceed, I will imagine that today it is very possible, for example, for a global religious leader to have a meeting with the youth globally from various countries, various religious backgrounds, on a topic of their choice, and have someone like the Pope, or let's say Sheikh Al-Azhar in Egypt, address an issue that is of concern to the youth, either globally, regionally, or nationally. So I would say we have privileged opportunities. The question is transitioning to the use of that technology for the benefit of the youth, and the youth progressively asking that they be integrated. Another way is education. When you are in school or in colleges or universities, nowadays most of the universities have university students forums. On a few occasions, I've been invited to talk to university students, association members or leaders. So I'm more familiar to associations, Christian associations, but I would like to believe that even Muslims have their own university youth forums. So we need to make a deliberate move to invite all of these youth leaders to participate in meetings, right from the planning stage up to the implementation stage. So I would say the opportunities are there, and no one likes to be condemned, whether you are young or old. We all like to be affirmed. And when you feel you are affirmed, it is easier to accept corrections, if any. But if you are always condemned, then you begin to lose your self-esteem, and that is not very positive. And but the same rule applies also to others. Even if others make mistakes, they also need to be corrected in a very affirmative way, because like the saying goes, all sinners have a future, and all saints have a past. So none of us is above that criteria. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Your Lordship. There is a raised hand by Patrice Onuko. Patrice, ask your question, please. Patrice. Patrice Onuko, can you hear me? Okay, as she prepares to come in the Patrice. Okay.
Yes. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So my name is Patrice from Rueros and Francis, and my question is, as youth, there's some things that are done in church, and for example, we have the youth activities that are supposed to be held with the youth, but you find like the church is not supporting this youth. I have heard that your lordship saying that these youth are supposed to go and maybe speak out their voices. And what if they're not understood or what if they're not listened? Thank you.
Hello?
Your Lordship, did you get the question?
Yes, I got the question. Suppose these youth are not listening to what they do.
Sure.
In the last, I would say, 20 years in Kenya, new structures have emerged where we have ecumenical associations. For example, we have the National Christian Council of Kenya, which is an umbrella body of various Christian denominations. And then now we have in the coastal region, we have an interfaith organization called Coast Interfaith Council of Clerics with its own leadership structure, the chairperson, secretary, treasurer, and so forth, and they have an office in Nyali. Then at the national level, we have Interreligious Council of Kenya, which I am currently privileged to be its chair, and we have our own offices in Nairobi with a board of directors, and we meet quite often to deliberate on issues affecting our country. Now, I think what the organizers of this forum today should do is to make sure that all the youth in Kenya, they have the names of faith organizations, especially the umbrella bodies, so that if, for example, I am living in, let's say, in what you call Watamu in Malindi, and a certain faith leader keeps on organizing what I will call crusades at night when people are supposed to be sleeping, and despite him being or her being told to tone down the volume, he insists. Then you know you can always address his or her faith leader and complain. But if that does not happen, you can also complain to an interfaith umbrella organization, but be specific and say, we have a problem in your term, and this is the problem. And the umbrella leaders will try as much as possible to reach out to that leader and explain. Now, in the same form, if the youth of a certain faith community are not being listened to, be they Christian or Muslims, you have the Supreme Council of Kenyan Muslims Association. You have what you call imams and religious leaders of Kenya and so forth. So you need to utilize those spaces, especially because they all have websites, they all have space for asking questions and so forth. And you can write a letter. I think the problem is sometimes we want shortcuts. We want to question an answer from others who are not even technologically what you call impacted. And most of them will appreciate face-to-face conversation, or maybe a communication, a written communication, where they get to knowing there's a specific problem in a specific community and the complaint is from a certain specific person. And where there is need to protect the person, then you need to find a way of reaching the next person in command or in authority.
Thank you very much, Your Lordship, for that. We have also two questions in the messages. I'm going to read them. This is from Lynn Namunyak. She says, I have been listening to several podcasts, and the last two focused on cases of molestation involving church leaders. What concerns me is that many of these incidents are never pursued legally, often because people fear damaging the church's reputation. My question is, can we establish stronger policies to address such cases? And if these policies already exist, how can we ensure they are strictly and fully enforced? Your
Thank
Lordship.
you.
Yeah.
Yes. This question is related to my first presentation, where I said followers of various religions are faithfully adhering to the four dimensions of religion, that is sacred places, the ritual part of a religion, the creed, the membership into a group, what we call Ummah or church, but we have neglected the moral conduct of our respective religion. So those who molest children, or what we call children abuse, sexual abuse, is first of all because their moral conduct, their moral, what you call principles, have vanished, and we need to reclaim them. In fact, if you ask me, we should be talking about moral rearmament of our society, with moral rearmament of followers of every religion, starting with their own leaders. Having said that, it is now a requirement that every religious community must establish a child safeguarding policy and child safeguarding structures, where when there is a case of molestation, the youth and the children know where to report. And in our case, it will be sufficient for us to know, even writing a letter or an email to us and being specific so that we can refer the case first to the authority of that faith community. But if nothing is being done, then we know the next step to take. In the coastal area, I know cases where religious leaders are working together even to rescue young boys and girls who have been sexually molested, and some cases have been pursued up to the court. The challenge is we are still living in what we call patriarchal society, where sometimes even the father of the victimized youth collude with the perpetrator of sexual abuse, whether it is in the form of pregnanting a young girl or marrying a young underage girl. You find the two patriarchs collude to defeat the law of the land, and they make sure that there is no witness that will go to the court. So, but this is going to change. The more we give voice to the voiceless, especially the victims, and the more the structures of seeking recourse are established within, as you said, within the spirit governor of an individual or of a faith community. But if that is not working, then we need to come up with a reporting mechanism to the umbrella organization under which a religious community falls. If it is a Hindu faith community, then they know there's Hindu Council of Kenya. and they are members of the Interreligious Council of Kenya. If it is a Christian, a case involving a Christian perpetrator or victim, we have various Christian umbrella organizations who are members of our interfaith forums, and if we receive a case, we refer it to them. But in the event that this internal regulating mechanism is not working, then we are left with no choice than to take this case to the law of the land. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Lordship. And another question that has been sent in the message is from Isaac Gutu, and he says, "Thank you, Your Lordship. Sorry. Thank you, Your Lordship, for the powerful sharing with us. Have the various religious groups played their roles well in shaping the moral conducts in our modern society? If so, how best can they improve on this?" Your Lordship, did you
Thank
get
you.
that? Yes.
Yes, I got the question.
Yeah.
As I said earlier, in our traditional societies, the family was the main source of moral teaching. Then came schools or education. Teachers became the next level of moral teaching. Now we have technology, and through technology, people are receiving various teachings about morals. Unfortunately, we have also cases where religious leaders have fallen short of the moral expectations of society, and in some cases also they have faced the law of the land. Ideally, every faith community has an internal mechanism for regulating the conduct of its members. Some have stronger ones, some have less, some have, some don't. But there's nothing that stops using technology, the youth using technology to remind senior members of society, including religious leaders, why they should actually undertake moral rearmament of the leadership first within the religious communities, long before we even begin to call on politicians, because politicians are also observing how we behave. And when they see us misbehaving, then we lose moral authority even to correct them. So I will urge the youth to use technology, which includes also various forms of art and drama, songs, poems, to communicate to the society and to the community leaders, religious leaders, political leaders, the ills that are befalling our community. Sometimes I feel so discouraged that when we go and you find children or the youth coming to entertain the participants, and they instead of using those entertainments to express what is not going right, you begin praising leaders almost as if they are angels, without pointing at both what they have done well and what needs to be improved. I think the technology is the one channel that is going to be used by youth to call upon leaders to keep up to up their game. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Lordship. And now, before I give it back to Your Lordship to summarize in the next 5 minutes, I just want to read the two comments in our messages from Richard Mutinda saying we have SUPKEM, we have CIPK, Kenmark, ULA for any issues within Islam. We have also KCCB, NCCK, EAK, OAIC, especially for Christian complaints and etc. So we have all these avenues in case there are any complaints or challenges that we might be facing as youths. Also, we have a comment from Father Nicholas Mutua from Garissa. He says, Please, my dear, the youth in this webinar, let us tap from the wisdom of our Lordship and demand for more meetings like this, as he has already said, especially with the experts in different areas where we feel confused. Thank you so much, Father Nicholas. And also, Sarah Okeno saying, thank you, Richard, for the information. Now, for the sum up, we still have 4 more minutes for your Lordship. Maybe just summarize and finish your session.
Yeah. So the Baganda of Uganda have a saying that nobody can erect a roof alone. I think it is high time that the youth of our country realize that even as youth, you need to be structured. As I said, you have many associations in the community and in the education institutions. Bring those leadership together to address issues of common concern. And let this forum like this one be encouraged periodically, whether it is every month or every 2 months or 3 months, but first and foremost on a topic that concerns the youth. And then the leadership, hopefully drawn from different youth religious associations, can decide who among the adults or who among the youth professionals can be invited to address certain issues. And as I said, the youth are living at a very privileged opportunity. You can have actually a seminar without moving from your home, something which some of us did not have as young people. We have to pay transport sometime all the way to Nairobi, from Mombasa. If it's Mombasa, all the way to Malindi or to Kwale. If it's Mombasa, we used to go, some of us, for seminars in Kanamai and so forth. Nowadays, at a cost less than that, you can have actually a meeting, you can have a conference, you can have a training online. And this is an opportunity that I think the youth of today, the youth in Kenya, need to capitalize on and let your consultation be done. Of course, that also means you have to guard what you call protect your data from any external interference. But the technology is there, and this began especially during the COVID time, where many churches and mosques and places of worship were closed. People had to learn how to pray using virtual, what you call channels. And even today, there are family meetings are being held online. People meet, committees who are preparing for weddings, meet online. I know a family which has a gathering this weekend. One member will not be able to join them physically. He or she will join them through the social media, be able to see all family members and address them and greet them. So my closing remarks is that the technology need not be used negatively. Let us enhance the positive use of social media. And this is going to become more and more a reality, especially when the AI becomes popular, because AI could easily change what you call a landscape of all religions known today, because AI can read for you the Quran, the Bible, the sacred book of the Hindus, yeah, and it can connect you to the best rabbi, the rest sheikh, the best imam, the best pastor, and you are not going to be dependent on the pastors of your local community. But will this necessarily enhance our moral conduct? That is the question. Does frequenting places of worship increase our moral behavior? That is the question. If it does, then the question is, why is it? The majority of Kenyans are known to frequent churches, frequent mosques, frequent temples to pray, which in my presentation I called it the ritual part of our religion. Yet corruption is in the increase. And the reason is we have not invested resources in what we call moral rearmament. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Lordship. I hope we and the participants have tapped into your expertise and knowledge in this field. We are very grateful for also your time, and we wish you all the best. We pray for God's blessings. That has been His Lordship, the Bishop of Malindi, who is also the Bishop Chair of the Commission for Interreligious Dialogue and Ecumenism. And as he had also pointed earlier, he is also the Bishop, the Chair of Interreligious Council of Kenya, and also a member of the Dicastery of Interreligious Dialogue in Vatican, Rome. So thank you so much, Your Lordship, for your time. Now,
Thank you.
I am very also pleased to say that we have reached the maximum number. We have 100 participants. I didn't expect that we are going to have this, and also so much encouraged that all of you are here and listening to it. Now, I want to welcome our second presenter. I see him very ready, Dr. Shomali. I don't know if he is a global person. I don't know if he's in Iran or in England or in America or he's in Kenya. So welcome so much, Dr. Shomali.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Maybe because I'll be switching off before Dr. Shomali ends his presentation.
Yes, Your Lordship.
I want to take the opportunity to greet Dr. Shomali. Salamu alaikum.
Salaam alaikum, Bishop. I'm very happy to meet you here and I hope to meet you in person soon.
Kaifa halikum?
Bikhair, alhamdulillah.
Bilkurbi.
Did we lose him?
We lost him, I think.
We lost him. Yeah. So let's see if he comes back. Yeah.
What? His name is Shamin, is it?
He's Mohammed Ali Shomali. Oh, I know where the problem is, because we have the maximum number of people and now his exit means coming back is difficult.
Ah,
I have to remove one person.
somebody has to exit.
Yeah, somebody has to exit. And
Of 92, several participants joined the meeting.
okay, we have 99 now.
Who is going to be this somebody exiting?
No, two people have exited. So two people have exited. So I hope he's back. Dr. Shomali.
Dr. Mohammed.
Yes. Sorry, I was disconnected. My internet was not good. Is it better now?
Yes. So, Dr. Mohammed, welcome. And I also
Thank
look
you.
forward to meeting you soon.
Thank you.
Where are you based at the moment?
Right now I'm in Qom in Iran
Yes.
because my son has been ill over last year, so I am now here with him. My rest of family are in London.
Okay. Are you attending World Congress leader meeting in Kazakhstan next month?
And me?
Yeah.
No, I am going to Brazil in September.
Okay. So anyway, I'm very happy to meet you, and we should make a point of connecting again. I think there's a lot we can do, and I have an open invitation from the Iran ambassador to Kenya to visit Iran. So we look forward to meeting you. Okay.
Excellent. You will be our guest also in Qom, and we will be very honored.
Okay. Shukran jazilan.
Thank you very much, Bishop. May Allah protect you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Dr. Shomali, the stage is yours. You can take over now.
Thank you. Can you hear me properly?
Sure.
Is okay?
Yes, we can hear you properly, especially when you lean forward. Yes, we really we hear it loud.
Oh.
Yeah.
In the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful, I am very delighted to be with you and to share this platform with one of my respected figures in Kenya, about whom I have heard a lot, Bishop of Malindi, His Excellency Bishop Lagho. I heard a lot from some of our common friends. So we pray for his success. And also, I'm very happy to connect to Isaac and some of our friends from Catholic Bishops Conference that were in Week of Unity in Mariapolis, Piero, last June. And I hope after this meeting we make lots of new friends also. So I thank God for this opportunity, and I ask God for guidance and support so that I can do justice with this important topic, youths and interreligious dialogue. So in my humble understanding, we have much better chance of having a more just and more harmonious world if the youths are involved. I don't look at the youths as challenge or as troubles. I look at youths as our great source of hope for bringing positive change to this world, especially when it comes to establishing justice and harmony and fraternity. I see that the youths of this generation are very capable for doing so. They bring fresh energy. They bring with themselves openness. They bring with themselves creativity. So we would be in a much better position if our youths are involved in interreligious dialogue as one of the main ways for making a more just and harmonious world. Especially, I want to focus tonight on working on shared human values. I have not had chance to discuss with the bishop and coordinate what we are going to say. But thanks to God, it's as if we have been coordinating for many hours, because the approach he chose is very similar to the approach that I want to choose, and that is to focus on ethics. So it's very easy for us to be more ritualistic. As religious people, there is tendency to prioritize rituals over spirituality, over morals, because rituals are more easily practiced, measured, observed, and give you a sense of satisfaction. You do this, you tick the box. I've done my prayer as a Muslim, for example, 5-time prayer. I have given my alms. I've done my pilgrimage to Mecca, etc. But the reality is that the rituals, at the same time that they are very important, they bring harmony to the community, they bring discipline, they serve as reminders, but they are just there to help us dive into deeper layers of our faith, which is how to be a better servant of God and a better fellow human beings for others. The Quran summarizes the faith and religiosity in this verse. وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ دِينًا مِمَّنْ أَسْلَمَ وَجْهَهُ لِلَّهِ وَهُوَ مُحْسِنٌ وَاتَّبَعَ مِلَّةَ إِبْرَاهِيمَ حَنِيفًا. Better in religion, in faith, in being faithful and religious, than someone who submits his face to God and is benevolent, is doing good, is doing ihsan, and follows the tradition of Abraham. And God chose Abraham as his friend. So if we want to follow the path of Abraham, who is our common father, who is the first meeting point between our prophets, we need to submit our faith to God and bring goodness to this world. You can be a Muslim, you can be a Christian, you can be a Jew, but without submitting your faith to God, without letting God settle in your heart, and then doing good to yourself and others, you are not counted as a true faithful person. So, the whole idea of being faithful is not just to perform certain number of rituals, which are very important. We don't want to underestimate them, but they are not enough. They are opportunities to strengthen our relations with God and with each other and build a network of muhsinin, of the people who bring God's mercy and love to this world. God is absolutely rich, but for us to receive His grace, we need to make such a network, like pipelines to receive water from the dam. Dam can have millions of cubic meters of water, but you need a network of pipelines to bring the water to the city. So we need to do together a very structured, coordinated collaboration on reflecting the light of God to this world. And that is after we ourselves submit our faith and heart to God. And I think the youth have great chance in getting into this, as I will explain. I just need 1 minute because my son has arrived. I have to take him on wheelchair. Just a minute.
That's
I can receive your question and we continue.
That's okay.
Is that okay?
That's okay. That's okay, Dr. Shomali.
Because just the car brought him with wheelchair. I have
Okay, no, just pick him, please. And there's somebody who please mute. There's somebody who has not muted and the name is not available. Name not available. Mute name not available.
Our attendance is high, so we are kindly requesting you mute your video and audio so that we don't have an interruption in the connection. Kindly.
Thank you, Sarah. I think I've found a way of muting him, so I've muted. So as we continue listening to Dr. Shomali, you can go ahead preparing for the questions so that when we go to that session, we have the questions in place. And as he comes, I want to read some of the comments that have been sent here. I start from from here. Thanks a lot, my Lord Bishop, for detailed information. That is Daniel Otieno about overcoming challenges which may be posed through rituals and moral codes as dimensions of religion. I liked the example applied, driver plus on the car's wheel versus traffic road regulation. That is the example the Lordship, His Lordship had given us. So I see Dr. Shomali is back. So let's continue. Dr.
Yes.
Shomali?
Thank you. Do you want to receive some questions or shall I continue?
Continue. In case there are any questions, I'll notify you. Yeah.
Excellent. So, as long as we operate at the level of deep spirituality and wide morality, which includes every relation that we have. Spirituality is deep and morality is wide. My relation with myself, my relation with my family, with my neighbors, with my clients, my teachers, my students, my friends, strangers, even enemies. Everything is to be governed by morality. So, as long as we operate at the level of deep spirituality and wide morality, we are very close with each other. When we go to the rituals, when we go to the doctrines, still we are very close to each other, but we may have lots of differences, even from denomination to denomination. Even within the same denomination, there can be different practices, different understanding of the doctrines. But when it comes to deep spirituality, which is submission to God as the absolute beauty, absolute truth, absolute love, absolute knowledge, absolute power, absolute wisdom, and morality, which means to do ihsan to yourself and others, then we are very close to each other. And the youth have easier chance today to go beyond the boundaries, which might be real, or many times they are not real, and understand the commonalities. As the Bishop mentioned, in our generation, it was not easy to connect to the people of other faiths, other places of ethnicity, culture, etc. I myself grew up in Tehran, capital of Iran, and then I went to the seminary of Qom for my seminary studies. But up to the age of about 30, I had not had any meaningful conversation, relation with a Christian or a Jew or a Hindu, because 99% of people are Muslims. Yes, in Iran we have Armenians, we have Assyrians as Christians, we have Zoroastrians, we have Jews, but Iran is a very huge country, thanks to God, and they normally live in pockets in different places. So you can become 30, 40, 50, and not necessarily even hear about other people, unless you are a person who is studying religions. But today the world is different. Today even a child in primary school, even before reaching primary school, is aware of the diversity that we have in humanity. And being aware of such diversity and such richness of humanity at a very young age broadens your mind. And if you manage to have this openness, but with the benefiting of wisdom of the previous generation, then you can be the most successful generation. If our youths benefit from the wisdom of previous generations, from religious leaders, and at the same time benefit from the positive changes which have happened, which has brought humanity to very much more intimate relations, they can be very successful. So, I would like to emphasize on few moral virtues that I think would enable all of us, but especially the youths, to be more successful in interreligious relations and interreligious communications and interreligious collaboration. And thanks to God, when it comes to these virtues, we are very much the same. I don't know, my field of study is, many, to a great extent, is morality and spirituality. And my PhD was on ethical relativism. I don't know of any virtue that Muslims and Christians have disagreement. I don't think of any virtue that Muslims say, for example, this is a virtue, Christians say, no, this is a vice. Or Christians say it's a virtue and Muslims say it's a vice. I don't know of any. If anyone knows of any virtues that we differ, please let me know. To my knowledge, our values, our virtues are the same. Maybe when it comes to how to prioritize, there can be differences. Even people of the same faith can have differences of opinion. But we don't have that much difference when it comes to identifying virtues and values. So, one of the virtues that we very much need to develop is rationality. Rationality is something that is, in a sense, secular, in a sense, is deeply religious. In Islamic, especially in Shia Islam, rationality is one of the most important characteristics of a religious person. We have a famous hadith from our seventh Imam, Imam Qadr, who says to Hisham ibn Hakam that the most perfect people are the most rational people. He doesn't say the most perfect people are those who go to the church more, or those who, for example, say prayer more, or fast more, or repeat the doctrines and creed every day, 100 times, or teach them. These are all important, but this doesn't make you necessarily advanced in your faith, your connection with God. It is rationality. Rationality is very important. We believe that God has provided us with two ways of understanding His will, understanding His expectations from us. One is revelation, and one is intellect. We call it intellect external hujjah, external proof. Internal proof. And revelation is external. So, some people use this terminology. They say prophets are internalized, externalized intellect. And intellect is internalized prophets. Absolute harmony between reason and revelation. Although it doesn't mean that they are the same, but there is absolute harmony. Never they contradict each other. They supplement each other. For the second Catholic Shia dialogue that we had in the UK in 2005, our topic, which later was published as a book, was reason and faith in theory and practice. And we found lots of similarities between our position when it comes to reason and revelation or faith. So, reason or intellect is a proof from God, supplements revelation, and indeed with intellect we come to identify a true revelation from false revelation, a true prophet from false prophet, and it is through intellect that we understand also the scripture. So rationality is very, very important. Another thing that we need to work on, which is very closely connected to rationality, is truthfulness. We have several narrations or hadiths from the Prophet and Imams that if you want to understand how faithful is someone, how good is a Muslim, for example, or a believer. We say it about Muslims, of course, it's up to you to say whether it is applicable to you or not, but I think it's very similar. It says, don't look at their long ruku and sujood, meaning when Muslims in the prayer, they bend, they bow, or they go to prostration. So it is good, it's very recommended that you don't rush. You prolong being in prostration. But you cannot judge about someone by saying when he is praying, he is prolonging his prostration. Even if it is honest and sincere. I'm not talking about people who show off. Even if someone honestly and sincerely prolongs his bowing or prostration in prayer. If someone is always, for example, with wuzu or ablution, this doesn't mean that this person is necessarily advanced in his faith. Hadith says, instead, look at their truthfulness and trustworthiness. صدق الحديث وأداء الأمانة. How truthful they are. Truthful to God, to themselves, to their family members, to neighbors, to clients, to everyone. This is the sign of true faith and trustworthiness. If someone entrusted with something, if they sign a contract, if they are employed for a certain job, are they delivering what they have undertaken or not? These are the signs of being faithful. And this is very closely connected to rationality. So, if we can invest on rationality, if we can invest on truthfulness and trustworthiness, on fairness, which is very important in interreligious relations. We have to be fair. I have to be fair with respect to my fellow citizens or countrymates if they are from other denominations or other religions. For example, if I am Shia Muslim living with Sunni Muslims, I have to be fair. I should treat them in the way that I want to be treated. If we are in majority, we should not take advantage of being majority and keep every good thing for ourselves and marginalize the other denominations. Or between Muslims and Christians. If we are not fair, we are not good Muslims or good Christians. To the mosque or to the church. How many times you pray? So we need to work on these virtues. These are some examples. And I can carry on. But I think these are some of the most fundamental ones that we need in interreligious dialogue. To be rational, which brings openness, which removes you from bias and prejudice. To be truthful, to be fair, to be trustworthy. The sign of a good Muslim is not to be loved only by Muslims. The sign of being a good Muslim is if you are loved by Muslims and Christians or Jews, whatever community lives with you. The sign of a good Christian is you live with such a loving character that not only when you die, Christians mourn for you, but also Muslims mourn for you. This means to be godly. Otherwise, every person, even gangsters, when they die, some people mourn for them. This is not enough that some people mourn for you. Have you been bringing positive light, hope, change to other communities so that they look at you as a blessing or they look at you as a trouble or as someone who has no impact? So, my request from our youths is take your faith very seriously. I, as a Muslim, I'm finishing in just a minute. I, as a Muslim, request you, if you are Christians, strengthen your understanding of Christianity, strengthen your connection with the church, with the community. If you are a Muslim, same. I love our youth from any tradition to invest deeply on their own faith, learn it properly, practice it properly, strengthen your community relations and ties, but also do it in a way that would broaden your vision, would enlarge your heart, so that you have better chance of being connected to God and connecting to people. This is the test. This is the acid test for being a good, faithful person, a good servant of God. How open you are to the truth, how fair you are, how free you are from bias. These are acid tests. May God help us all, especially our youths, in whom we have lots of hope, for being able to strengthen their relation with Himself, with God Almighty, and with being voices and instruments of light and hope and charity and peace in this world. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shomali, for the nice presentation. It's a presentation that is so touching to the youths, and it reminds the youths of their space and their opportunity that they hold in the current society. And I like how you started saying the youths bring fresh energy, creativity into the position of interreligious dialogue and ecumenism. And actually, that is what has led us to what we have today as this forum. So now I welcome any question from the participants, any inputs, any word of encouragement, anything. So just raise your hand and I give you the mic to do that. So starting with Sarah Otieno, take the stage.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Shomali, for the great presentation. Indeed, it's wonderful. And I think my greatest point is where you've said that as the youths, we should try our level best to avoid bias, because once we avoid bias, we are able to understand each other's faith and work as a family. So thank you so much for making this clear. And I think we need more of this forum, and also to blend our interfaith so that we are able to understand and avoid bias, just as you have said, and be able to build a community where we walk in one faith and one faith that understands and molds each other. So thank you so much for the great presentation.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for your comment. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah, and from the messages. And Yeah, if you have any question, just raise your hand. I want to read from the message. Somebody, Zeno Katua says, thanks for this great forum. May this be the way to go to restore the lost opportunity, to restore lost moral values. I think that has been part of what was presented by Dr. Shomali, the issues of morality and ethics. We have Daniel Otieno raising his hand. Daniel Otieno, take the mic.
Okay, Daktari, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
Kaifa haluka?
Alhamdulillah. Kaif antum?
Inshallah. I am Katekis Daniel from Nyamasari Catholic Parish in the Diocese of Homa Bay.
Very happy to hear you.
Welcome. When you look at Jesus Christ at youthful stage, well, before he started his ministry, he lived with his parents. And same to Prophet Mohammed, peace be upon him, upon the death of the parents, he lived with his uncle. The commonality between these two prophets is that they inherited or they learned virtues within the family. Now, when you look at it distinctively within their respective religions, there is a way in which a youth in the current world can be inspired with the line of religion they are practicing. Now, I'm just urging a youth to passionately love their religion and religious practices so that they possess positive balances in the virtues they are practicing. Because the world of today is technologically moved. So they tend to go out of their religion practices. And therefore, this makes them lose the values and things which are ethically religious. So mine is just to urge respective view. Whether you are a Christian or a Muslim, can you try to imitate the way Jesus Christ or Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, followed their parents and their uncle, so that we remain morally and ethically upright youth. Thank you.
You're welcome. May God bless you. Yes, for both Muslims and Christians, certainly family is a sacred institution and nothing can replace family. So this is actually one of our common concerns today, because we see the institution of family is underestimated, is ignored sometimes. There are lots of attacks on family life. But the truth is that family is the first and the best context and environment for developing. If you want to be a good, faithful, if you want to be a successful human being, if you want to be any human being which is flourished in its humanity, family is the best and the first opportunity that we have. And this remains so till the end of our life. We need family from the beginning up to the time that we depart from this world, and even afterwards we need our family to continue the legacy. So nothing should make us, especially the young generation, to underestimate the blessing of belonging to family and then community of the faithful, which is built up by faithful families, is very, very important. These are two important protections that we have for facing challenges and opportunities that we have for development. So please, whatever you can do to strengthen the institution of family, do so. Whatever you can do to strengthen community, please do so, because these are two great blessings that we have. And what I said about morality, as I repeatedly said, was not to undermine our practices or doctrines. Actually, they are very, very important. Doctrines are what make us actually faith. But what I want to say that from being a believer in certain doctrines and a practicing person, we need to reach piety. We need to reach closeness to God. We need to reflect the light of God to ourselves and others. And this is what we do it in morality and spirituality. And therefore, if we operate at this level, we will find it very easy to connect with like-minded people from other traditions. A truthful, fair, honest, trustworthy Christian and a truthful and fair and honest and trustworthy Muslim can be friends forever. But if there is no truthfulness, if you have a friend from another faith who is lying, you cannot be friends. Or if you're not trustworthy, you cannot be good friends. So we need to pay attention to all aspects of faith, but never compromise about morality. Because that is where the light of faith can be more shining to the world.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shomali, for the response and bringing up the element of the importance of family. Before I give Patrice, let me just read some two comments, and then Patrice, you will ask your question or your input. So Father Nicholas from Garissa says that yesterday and today I had a meeting with the sheikhs and pastors in my region, that is in Garissa, organized by the SUPKEM office, and they told me to bring along with me a representative from the youth and Sunday school teacher. I do agree with the speaker on the issues to do with the youth. As religious leaders, we love the youth. Father Nicholas Mutua from Garissa Diocese. And Father Andrew from Meru says also, this is so good. The youth and all of us need to learn more about interreligious dialogue for mutual respect and collaboration. So thank you, the two priests from Garissa and from Meru. And Patrice, if you can hear me, take the mic.
Thank you. A quick question. First of all, let me start by appreciating this forum. My question is, we have talked about the family. There's a friend of mine. He's now 19 years old, and his father died 2 years ago. And during the burial, he was told that the father that died is not his real father, but there's another family that he's supposed, but there's another family that he's coming from, but not the family that where he is right now. Now my question is it good for this young man to look for this other family or to stay with this?
Dr. Shomali, did you get the question?
No, unfortunately. Could you relate?
Yes, he says that there is a young man, 19 years old. The father passed on 2 years ago, and during the burial, he was told that the deceased was not the real father. So, is it in order for this young man to go and look for the real father, or to stay with the family that raised him to the point that is that he has been all along? I hope I put it clear.
So, was this a reliable information or just someone said something?
It's reliable information.
Okay, so if it's a reliable information, he should maintain his relation with the family that brought him up, but he can look for also his real, parents, but not, you know, disconnecting from the family that brought him up. So he has two families now. One is by blood, but one is by spirit, and he will always remain in debt to the family that brought him up.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that response. I think it's quite in order. And, I read again another some more comments. As any other person having a question, you can just raise your hand. We are almost towards the end of this session. So Theophilus Obiero says, God bless Dr. Shomali and the coordinators and participants. Thank you so much. Then we have Firdos Zivzi. He said, Salam, all of you. Excellent advice. May Allah bless you and your family. Thanks. Then we have Father Charles Kilonzo, the National Executive Secretary of our commission. He says, Matthew 23, when Jesus said, Woe to you, you hypocrites, I believe he was saying what we are discussing tonight, that many religious persons tend to wash the outside of the cup and forget the inside. It's all about moral uprightness. It's about living truthfully in whatever religious background we belong to. His Lordship, Bishop Lagho, and Dr. Shomali have emphasized this. Thank you so much, Father. Then we have Father Alphonse from Machakos says, Thank you, Dr. Shomali, for these strong words. Faithfulness, rationality, God be at the center, and can address extreme ritualistic while neglecting moral instrument for change. That's Dr. Father Alphonse Motua from Machakos. Also, Richard from Malindi says, very inspiring talk from Dr. Shomali. Our diversity is our strength. We need to cultivate and work on the commonalities. Then we have Joseph Kinyoki, I believe from the military ordinariate. He says, thank you, Sheikh Shomali, for the sharing. Indeed, by living our virtues can have a good taste to the society and to the organizers. Indeed, such forums are enriching to our community. Then we have Gladys Kitui says, I really enjoyed this. I hope to have more of this in future. Hope Gatugi says Gen Zs are morally upright with a laughter emoji. And Father Charles also says, I kept asking myself what the Gen Zs are up to until now that I feel I have understood that they are calling for truthfulness, honesty, integrity, truth, holiness, especially from the ruling class. And Father Daniel also says, I support this input a lot. I concur with the input. Let us all accompany our youth. We have also Mohammed Pakdin. He says, thank you very much, dear Dr. Shomali, for your insightful talk. My question for you is that, can Muslims and Christians and the followers of other faithfuls reach to a common rationality or say a collective mind? That's a question to you, Dr. Shomali. Can I repeat? Say
yes, of course.
You got it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Then take it.
Actually, God has given all of us intellect, and intellect works in the same way in everyone. Intellect is a great capital that we have that can bring us together and help us with having mutual understanding. Intellect, we could not understand each other because there was no common ground. So we Muslims and Christians, we can have our common rationality as a means to understand each other, as a means to understand our responsibilities. And I think this very much can be cultivated by meetings like this. When we bring our rationality and our resources into a fair and truthful and honest discussion without any other intention or any other agenda, just to think together so that we can better understand God's expectations.
Thank you very much. And I read the last comment, and then I will give it back to Dr. Shomali to give a summary of 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 of, of today on or of his presentation. Somebody says this is Collins saying, "I am looking forward to seeing a society where we live as brothers for both Muslims and Christians. Moderators, tell us when we have the next meeting and how we will get notification for the meeting." This is Collins Peter of Homa Bay Diocese. So yes, that is true. We are seeing. We are also we are hoping to see a society where all human beings will live as brothers and sisters, no matter their religion and their faiths. And we are going to have more sessions of the same, and we are going to notify you through different means. So back to you, Dr. Shomali, to just give a sum up of your presentation and your experience for the forum. And yeah.
Excuse me, Mr. Oskey.
Okay, somebody has a pressing comment, or so okay, go ahead, Evelyn.
I had written in the comment, what does one do to those? What does one do to those who want to argue over their faith and bring in politics? And sometimes in the gathering, like somebody begins such, how do the youths handle that?
So it's possible that some people, either because they have already a plan, or just, this is their way of upbringing and their way of thinking, that they want to maybe politicize everything. We need to encounter them with openness, with love, but at the same time,
Sorry.
and at the same time, being rational. Don't let anyone manipulate you, whether from your faith or another faith or no faith. Whether someone is a celebrity or someone is unknown, don't let anyone to manipulate you. You have your intellect, you have the scripture, you have the tradition, and without fighting people, without arguing too much with people, if they have something precious, welcome it. If you think it's not precious or it's not your priority, respectfully engage in another thing. So rational people don't waste their time in arguing, unnecessarily. And also don't get trapped by manipulations and, mesmerizations or, persuasions. You have your strategy. You welcome any truth, any wisdom, anything that can bring light to your life or life of others without being bombarded or, manipulated. This is the path.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Shomali. Again, you want to sum up now, and so that we can close the forum at
Yes.
exactly 9.
Thank you very much. And so first, I would like to thank God for giving us this blessing to connect with each other, and thank the organizers for making such useful platform so that we can meet and share. I would like also to thank His Excellency Bishop Lagho, Bishop of Malindi, for his insightful talk, and also thank all of you for your attentive participation. So what I said about our topic, which was youth and interreligious dialogue, was that we look at the youth as some of the best assets that we have and greatest hopes that we have for making a more just and harmonious world. There are lots of good things in this world, but for sure we are not pleased with this world. This world is too much suffering from partitioning, from conflicts, from wars, from tensions, from unjust treatment of others, from genocide. So youths are some of our greater hopes, in addition to our religious leaders, in addition to our teachers, elderly members of communities. We have different kinds of hopes, but youths are among some of our greatest hopes for having a more just world and a more harmonious world. And I said they can not only be beneficial, they can be actually more transformative. We cannot have any transformation without engaging the youths, as well as, of course, women, whether they are young or not. Both these two sides of community and society should be very much involved. I said the youths bring fresh energy, openness, and creativity. They are least affected by prejudice, by presumptions, by short-sightedness, because they are less bombarded by such, poison propaganda. And it's an area that the youths or interfaith dialogue can very much get involved is shared human values. And then I started talking about significance of, said, although doctrines are very important, rituals and practices are very important, but in the end of the day, our closeness to God is not judged by how many practices you have or how many doctrines you have in mind. Is with sincerity in your heart, purity of your heart, with love and mercy and agape in your heart. And I mentioned then some of the values and virtues that are very fundamental in our faith and interfaith. I emphasize on rationality and truthfulness and trustworthiness and fairness. And I said, if we have these, we are in a very good position for having good relations with everyone, people of our faith or other faith, in family or out. So the youth should invest on gaining or cultivating, strengthening rationality, truthfulness, fairness, and trustworthiness. Any responsibility you take, always think not about your selfish interests. Think about all humanity. Think about the promises that you give when you sign a contract, when you get a job, and try to be really trustworthy. So that people across all communities, across all faiths, they can bear witness in front of God that this man or woman was trustworthy. This mayor, this politician, I don't know, this businessman was a trustworthy person. This is the sign of faith. When people across religions and communities, they can testify your trustworthiness, your fairness, your truthfulness, your rationality. So a sign of our true faith is when we are appreciated by people of other faiths as well. And when you die, all mourn for your loss. And when you are alive, all feel that your presence makes them richer, gives them hope across faith, across ethnicities. Thank you very much for your attentive listening, for your comments and questions. And again, thanks for the organizers.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shomali. Truly, we are blessed and we have really gotten a lot from your expertise, from your intellect, and from everything that you have brought on board. So, thank you again so much, and we pray for your son. It's very difficult that you are in this situation and you have given yourself to this forum. We really appreciate that. We don't take it for granted. We pray for your son. May good Lord bless him. Yes. And lastly, we had Father Charles Kilonzo. He was supposed to give an opening remark. Now I want him to give a closing remark and pray for us so that we can end this session. Father Charles.
Hey, we mute our videos, man. I don't want to see you here.
Father Charles. Okay, Father Charles is not. Father Charles? Okay. It seems we can't get him. Anyway, so thank you again, Dr. Shomali. Thank you, Bishop Lagho. And thank you, everyone, for participating. We hit a very big number, 100. That was 100% participation. Thank you so much. Have a good night and be blessed. See you soon and continue with the good work that we are doing. Goodbye.
God bless you. Thank you.
Bless.